Welcome back to the Urban Farmyard, where this city girl goes country. Today we're taking a look at raw feeding. Should you raw feed or should you not? Let's take a look. One topic which is going to spark a huge amount of debate among pet owners, it is raw feeding. The debate over whether or not to raw feed is a little bit like the debate over whether or not to vaccinate your children. And my view of raw feeding is very clear. In my view, it is a completely personal choice. But I say that with one caveat. If you have a look at the studies that have been done into raw feeding, and if you speak to a good vet, they will tell you that there are generally two issues which crop up with raw feeding. One is it's generally not recommended for cats and dogs under the age of 1 or 2. The reason for that is young animals have very, very specific nutritional requirements. It's really important that they get the right combination of nutrients and the right level of fat that helps them to develop nice, strong and healthy bodies. What vets are starting to see is skeletal issues in young animals that have been fed raw diets from a very, very young age. So in general, vets will often tell you not to raw feed in the first 1 to 2 years of their life, but after that it is completely fine to switch once they've done most of their growing. Another challenge with raw feeding is it does take quite a bit of work. You can't just give your animals one type of meat and expect that that will deliver a completely balanced diet. You need to follow the raw feeding guidelines and give them a variety of different foods in very specific quantities in order to ensure that they get the nutrients that they want. Now, we choose not to raw feed here simply because of the complexities around raw feeding. We have so many animals here that it is very difficult to raw feed everyone and ensure that they're getting a completely balanced diet. It is much simpler for us to feed dry food which is being manufactured to a nutritionally balanced specification rather than trying to get raw food into all these animals in exactly the proportions that they need. That's where non-raw diets have a huge advantage. They are simply convenient. They are completely nutritionally balanced. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to buy in a whole lot of different forms of food and combine them to make sure that your pets are getting the right balance of nutrients. You simply pour dry food out of a packet into a bowl and they get all the nutrition that they need. Now, we don't just feed dry food here. We do also supplement it with meat and with raw food, but we do tend to give them dry food as the bulk of their diet simply for convenience sake. So should you raw feed? Should you not? Honestly, it is completely up to you. If you have the time and the interest in researching raw feeding and are prepared to buy in a lot of different types of food and combine them to make sure that your animals are getting the nutrition that they need, by all means go for it. But if, like me, you have a large number of animals or you are time poor, then you might find that a non-raw diet is the way to go. I hope today has been helpful and I will see you back here tomorrow.